Welcome to the Pinfall Podcast. I'm your host, Liz. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Marcus.
Hello. Impact Wrestling.
Happy Impact Day.
Happy Impact Day. But in addition to Impact, I know it might still be going on right now, but we'll be making our predictions for Terminus, which have been made before the show started. So we have not... the show itself has had no influence on our predictions, and we won't be watching the show until Sunday or Saturday night. But we'll
maybe Saturday night.
We'll be doing a recap on Sunday. That was the show chosen by our lovely voters at our Twitter at Pinfall Podcast. What time are we doing our recap on Sunday?
Personally, I'd prefer to do it around, if we're going to do it in the evening, around 7.
7? Okay. Then 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be doing our Terminus 2 recap and review. So, join in that. And, yeah. Impact.
What a day. This
was a fine episode. I feel like Impact has a lot of these episodes that are like, I think it moves stuff along, but nothing super exciting.
My thing, though, is that, like, I think if I went to see this episode live, I would still be, like, hyped up about what was happening.
Yeah.
I think it's just that Impact kind of has, like, a... I don't know, like, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like Impact just, like, has, kind of a common theme of being very, like, it's really good, but because it's really good, when it stays really good for really long, it's like, oh, well, that's just Impact today.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it has to do with a couple things. First off is their monthly pay-per-views, which, same thing with WWE, it makes your weekly shows a bit more bland because you save your exciting stuff for the pay-per-view. Now, Impact is better at that than WWE. Impact likes to shake things up. They still have exciting stuff every now and then. But it also has to do with the fact that all of this is taped and the spoilers got out like Sunday or Saturday, whenever they had No Surrender. And so, I mean, I read through the spoilers, so I knew a lot that was happening today, and that's my own fault. I read some of it too. You didn't want all of it.
Yeah.
Like
I wanted just enough.
Yeah, like I knew about the dot combat match. I knew about Heath challenging. I think that's pretty much it. But
yeah, Heath challenging is very out of left field, but I think that's just their like holdover sacrifice match that they're like, whatever.
Yeah, and Heath still made it seem reasonable and motivated. But it doesn't feel as like motivated as like AEW, how it's like, okay, you have these rankings giving a very strict motivation for who challenges when. But I think a lot of it also has to do with like just how they tell stories. You know? They know they have to they know the beats they have to hit. And it's not always super exciting, just beats they have to hit.
Yeah. Also, fun fact. So Discord keeps freezing for me. It wasn't 5 seconds ago. But Discord keeps freezing for me. And I think I know what it is now.
Do you?
And I don't know what this...
I'm just saying, do you?
Oh, sorry. I didn't hear you all the way. I just plugged my laptop in. because it was dying.
Yeah.
And I think it's something with the charger. Because I was fine. I was all good before plugging this in, and then I had to plug it in. And last night when I unplugged it, things got a little better, I think.
Okay.
And my charger does make my laptop super, super, super like nuclear hot.
Might also be a setting we can change in your laptop. But maybe from now on we just charge it while we're watching the show, and then
we have to like make sure that our show like runs like 50 minutes tops because my laptop's battery is old and
okay. I mean, worst case,
evil.
you plug it in like 3/4 of the way in. Not the biggest deal.
Interesting to know what might be the problem.
Right. But yeah, Impact. Let's see. Heath challenged Moose for the title. Then we had the dot combat match between Jordan Grace and Matt Cardona for the digital media title. This screen really lights up my whole room.
You are very bright.
Oh God. Tennille Dashwood's back, and they're ready to face the Inspiration at Sacrifice. John Schuyler fought Bhupinder Gujjar. Then we had Deanna Perazzo versus Lady Frost. They have to be doing something big with Macklin. Because Macklin had his interview, and he talked a lot about Eddie Edwards, and I'm surprised he's not the one facing Eddie at Sacrifice, and it's Rhino instead. That doesn't make sense to me. I feel like they plan on Eddie winning, and they don't want Macklin to lose, because they probably have him in line for a title shot. I think I could see that coming. He already had an X Division title shot, which didn't pan out, but maybe this opens up the door for a world title shot. Him versus Moose.
You think that would be?
I don't think that would be a Rebellion, but I think that would be a little further down than that. But I don't know. It just seems like the most logical match would be Eddie and Macklin, because Eddie's been doubting Macklin this whole time, or he's been making him look bad in the group, and having him as a scapegoat.
Yeah, no, I get that. I do get that because that makes sense. I'd be pissed if I were Macklin. So.
Let's see. We also had Deanna had her open challenge. Lady Frost accepted for the Reina de Reinas title.
Yeah, I was glad that she challenged for that. Since everyone wanted the Ring of Honor one.
She's like, I know I'm losing. Might as well challenge for the ugly belt.
That is an ugly ass belt.
Yeah. We had more Bullet Club stuff. This time, God coming back, and we're getting a 8-man tag match next week. Bullet Club versus VBD and God. We had Ziggy Dice versus Jonah. Gail, Chelsea, and Tasha Steelz will be facing off next week, and the winner will face Mickey at Sacrifice. And then we had 6-man tag match, Honor No More versus Team Impact, followed by Eddie Edwards coming out and explaining his side of the story, which almost resulted in a divorce. Eddie Edwards and Alicia on different pages.
Let's not say almost, because we still don't know.
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. Yeah. All right, so we got any news? I know we have some news.
Yeah, we've got some news. So let me pull that up, and let me also change the
sign.
Okie dokie. We've got a couple things. Let's see. Where do we want to start today?
Tomatonga just tweeted, "Fuck Jay White," and Rocky Romero responded saying, "Finally, something we can agree on."
Oh my god. Okay, so we've got actually a lot of news. So first things first, some follow-up to yesterday. Angelico said that he was going to make an announcement regarding his career. And it turns out that my poor dude tore his ACL at the end of last year, which is why we haven't seen him since the end of last year. He said that he's been healing up and training, but obviously a torn ACL is not exactly one of those and I'm back kind of injuries.
Like, yeah, I know we haven't seen him for that reason, but why haven't we seen Jack Evans?
Maybe just because they're together. I don't know.
Doesn't explain, because we had Dante Martin when Darius got injured. I don't know.
Has Jack Evans been doing anything? You would know better than I would.
No. And it's...
Maybe he's like, if my brother can't wrestle, neither can I.
Yeah, maybe. I know Jack Evans has had like a great singles career. He's had a very long career. A lot of it was singles.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't want to wrestle singles right now. Then doesn't want to team with Matt Sydal.
Yeah, maybe Matt Sydal like the service dog of sorts.
Yeah, he's like the go-to fill-in. Because he had Dante.
Where's Mike Sydal?
I don't know.
We haven't seen. Maybe that's what we need. Maybe Mike Sydal's also injured, so Angelico and Mike Sydal can like heal up, and then Jack Evans and Matt Sydal can team up together.
Let's see, Mike Sydal. Nothing comes up immediately Googling him, but there is Mike Sydal injury. October, pulled from Rampage match due to injury. Doesn't seem like... Oh, details horrific injuries Mike Sydal suffered. Oh, I know, that's from a long time ago. Never mind. Yeah, he's injured, but it's not clear what he's injured with.
Okay. Other news we've got is that Brian Cage's contract was extended with AEW.
Cool.
Which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, it's especially interesting because they've had him off TV for so long that you wonder why they wanted to re-sign him. Like, I mean, I get it. He's a good talent. I really like him. But I just wonder, like, clearly they've been doing fine without him. Unless they got plans. I'm really curious what those plans are.
Speaking of plans, Tony Khan has a massive announcement that's coming soon.
When doesn't he? When doesn't he have a massive announcement?
Tony Schiavone said that they are working around the clock on a big announcement. And Tony said that it's going to be great for the fans, for the wrestlers, and it's going to be awesome. I'm so excited. I don't know when we're going to be able to tell the fans, but I know that it's coming very soon.
I hope it's about the AEW game.
Yeah, you would think.
Because if it's not specifically like an announcement on Dynamite, then I feel like it's about the game. I don't know though. I hope it's the game.
It doesn't feel like it's a talent announcement.
Yeah. When did he tweet that? Or say that?
Tony said that, if I could just get my phone to cooperate with me. Tony said that on He said that in a segment, I think, yesterday, like in a backstage, like Twitter thing.
Okay.
Also, a match that was potentially supposed to be for Revolution is going to probably be postponed, which would have been Death Triangle versus House of Black 6-man tag. It looks like that might be postponed because it looks like Fenix still has a couple of weeks before he's going to be cleared.
Okay.
A couple more weeks than they have. There's a chance. I mean, it's Fenix, so
yeah.
Who's to fucking say? Tomorrow he might be fine.
I mean, it's a miracle he's, gonna be cleared to wrestle like within the next 6 months after what we saw on fucking, was it Rampage or Dynamite that happened? Forget which show it was.
Dynamite, because we did a post show.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
Also some fun news, I mean good, not fun, I guess. Good news. Is that Jake the Snake said that oh, son of a bitch.
Your laptop plugged in?
Yeah, it's gotta be. If it's not, I may as well go in there with you. Yeah. Jake the Snake said that he is feeling good in spite of his COVID diagnosis in December. Yeah. In December. But apparently he is doing good, and he said that he doesn't need to use his oxygen anymore. He said that he does have to use it on airplanes because of like the pressurization and stuff, but he said that he can't run a marathon, and then he said never have, never will. So
good for him.
Truly, he sounds like my dad, because he said, no, I can't run a marathon, never have, never will. I'm going to be around for a long time because I didn't make it through all this shit that I did to myself to drop now. That literally sounds like something my father would say to me.
Yeah, it's a very dad thing.
God. Love Jake the Snake. Let's see. Also, we've got some other AEW news in that I apologize if I mispronounce this, but there's literally no other way I can think to pronounce it. A UFC flyweight
try best
person named Jessica Eye. AA. That's why I said I don't know. AA?
I have no clue.
Oh, you said that with so much confidence. I was like, okay, sure, fine. Jessica Eye said that she wants to wrestle in AEW. Will she? Who knows? But like, I guess if you're going to be a UFC a UFC fighter, right? Is that what they're called? And go anywhere, it's probably AEW. So.
I'm sure there are a lot of people who want to fight in AEW too. Like, I want to fight in AEW. Write an article about that.
Okay. Let's see where are we going. John Morrison is going to be at GCW, and he's got a new name. He is going to be Johnny Caballero.
Well, he was Johnny Superstar AAA. Now he's Johnny Caballero at GCW. He changes his name up really wherever he goes.
Yeah, technically he changed it for because it's the World on Lucha.
Right.
That he's going to be at. So I think that's exciting. I'm excited to see him, and I love that he's doing the name changing shit. Okay. So some other news before we get to the last piece of news that we are obviously going to talk about. Diener re-signed his Impact contract. Austin Aries was announced for Control Your Fucking Narrative because I guess their narrative, I get a bad feeling of control your narrative being the place where all of these like controversial wrestlers are going, because of the idea of controlling your narrative being change the fact that everyone knows you because you're a horrible person. I get a funny feeling. Well. Anyways, that's just me. Then we also have Hideki Suzuki is returning to Pro Wrestling Noah for their tag team tournament, which I'm super excited about. That is more than enough of a reason for me to start watching it. I'm glad that we're getting, Hideki back in the game and not just like some fucking coach. Because like I think that was like the weird thing for me is that like all these wrestlers that like wrestlers that were like being allocated to like coaching positions or like coaching positions, like, and not wrestling, it just kind of rubbed me as weird. And to see them now like coming back and like wrestling, I'm like, oh, maybe that wasn't exactly what you wanted to be doing,
right?
But it was how you were going to make your paycheck. Also, it turns out that Moose is currently working through an injury. Apparently he tore his labrum. He obviously plans to work through it because he still has the fucking title. And there's really no timeline on how long that's going to take for him to heal from. And then our second to last piece of news is that the Cody Rhodes situation, according to Sean Ross Sapp, is, as he said, eerily silent since Friday or Saturday. There is no confirmation that he's signed or anything else.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know what that's about. But obviously our piece of news that matters the most tonight is that a certain somebody is no longer with the WWE, and that is Cesaro. Cesaro apparently, according to PW Insider, I believe, today, Cesaro was reportedly no longer with the WWE because his contract expired, and he did not resign.
Yeah.
He was scheduled to be at the taping tomorrow, but will not be there.
Yes. And he's lost his last 7 matches, which is as a result of the expiring contract. But his last WrestleMania match, I mean, singles against Seth Rollins in a fucking banger. I mean, can't ask for better than that.
No. I'm excited to see where he goes. I'm excited to see what he does.
Well, I might have a hint for you. So Eddie Kingston tweeted very vaguely. He said he doesn't have the balls to come to AEW. And apparently Eddie and Cesaro have real life heat. Just like how Eddie and CM Punk had real life heat. So Eddie Kingston had said in an interview, I believe it was with News 12. He talked about his beef with CM Punk, but he also talked about his beef with Cesaro. But that is a lot more vague and a lot less motivated. So specifically, his beef with Cesaro is, there's certain people in wrestling I do not like. This is a quote. Punk is one, Cesaro is another, the big Swiss idiot in WWE. I know him as Claudio Castagnoli. I don't like him. I don't respect him. If he ever comes here, we're going to have a problem, or whenever his contract's up. I don't even pay attention to what he does. But guys like that, I just don't respect. Notice the lack of reasoning. Back in May, I'm quoting the article right now. Back in May, Kingston called Cesaro a scumbag and said his dislike for Cesaro stems from Cesaro not putting him over in Chikara before he signed with WWE in 2011. And he also has a problem with Chris Hero, who was a tag team partner of Cesaro's for a long time in the indie scene. But as we've already seen, CM Punk's first feud in in AEW was with Eddie Kingston. And Eddie seems like the type to really want to channel that real life heat. And, you know, I feel like, I don't know, Eddie doesn't seem like the type that if he actually hated somebody, he would go subtweeting about them. Like, that sounds like a dare. Like, please come here so that we can fight.
It's also just weird because, like, I've literally never heard a bad thing about Cesaro in, like, the history of knowing about Cesaro. Right. Not one person have I ever. And, like, for somebody, like, I feel like, I don't know, and maybe I'm totally fucking wrong. Like, what the fuck do I know? Who do I know? I don't know anyone. But you would just kind of hope that, like, if somebody's close friends with somebody, they share the same, like, ideals. Mm-hmm. And for Cesaro to be so close with like Woods and Cole, also because he was like well liked backstage, I feel like it's just I don't know. I guess maybe this is also me being like, I don't want Cesaro to be a bad guy. I hope he's not a bad person.
Yeah, I don't want to speculate any of this stuff because it's all Eddie's personal feelings, but you know, when they worked together, Cesaro might have been a different person, or it could just be for the sake of starting a storyline. If he were to come in, I mean, it seems like that's what Tony Khan loves. Same thing happened with Danhausen. He loves when people come in and already have existing stories worked up, already have existing feuds and mentions from AEW wrestlers, and Eddie, of course, would be a big one to vouch for you. And I also love how this article says it doesn't seem likely Cesaro and Kingston will cross paths in AEW anytime soon, as Cesaro reportedly re-signed with WWE earlier this year, and the 7-time tag team champion remains a regular contributor on SmackDown. And that was December 21st that article was written of 2021. So 2 months ago. A lot can change. 2 months.
Well, they did say earlier this year, so maybe he just signed a 1-year extension, which is not exactly the most promising thing in the world.
That's actually exactly what happened. He signed a 1-year extension. At least from what I heard.
Yeah, 1-year extension is not exactly like a vote of confidence in my opinion.
It's basically 1 year to decide on a contract. And it didn't work out. Maybe he wanted streaming to be a big thing. Hopefully we can get him streaming a lot more and back to doing it regularly.
I'm really excited to see where he ends up. I'm excited to see him wrestling mm-hmm. again. I'm excited that we're like done with misusing him.
Yeah, the dude is an immense talent. I mean, just look at any of his 2 of his most recent feuds. I mean, before his Sheamus feud. Look at his feud with Roman and Seth. Those were killer. I mean, his match with Roman, I personally think it's very underrated. It was one of my favorites last year. I mean, it was just so damn good. What?
I've almost completely forgotten about that.
What event was that? What pay-per-view was that at? Wasn't Money in the Bank? Or was it Money in the Bank? No, Money in the Bank was Edge.
No, I don't think there were fans.
Huh?
I don't think there were fans.
Okay, so Money in the Bank was Edge. I think just before Edge was Cesaro.
Was it after? I think it was after Daniel Bryan, so I think it was after WrestleMania.
Yeah. No. It was before WrestleMania.
Oh, it was before?
Because WrestleMania was the return to fans. Rumble. Maybe? It wasn't Chamber, because Chamber was Daniel Bryan. I think it was after Chamber. Or maybe before. God, you know what? Let me just look this up on Cage Match.
I think there's an easy way to find out.
And also to add on to Cesaro and his contract ending. With his contract, with him leaving when his contract is up, he is not on a 90-day non-compete, so he can go wherever he wants as soon as he wants.
Right.
Let's see.
And unlike somebody, he didn't just have a child.
Right. So Hell in a Cell was against Seth. Backlash. It was right after WrestleMania, so it was in front of fans. Oh wait, no, Thunderdome. I guess they went back to the Thunderdome after WrestleMania. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Money in the Bank was the return to fans. WrestleMania was just like that one time, like, hey guys, we're kind of almost back.
I thought Money in the Bank was before WrestleMania. Was it not?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all. Yeah. That was
his in-ring
sick fucking match.
Yeah, and his in-ring storytelling is so damn good because, I mean, you could see the parallels of like how he adapted Daniel Bryan's wrestling, because there was a little bit of a storyline where Daniel Bryan was like helping him out before this, and he used the crossface several times in that match, knowing it was a weakness of Roman's, or the label lock.
Yes. Please, Mark, it's not just a crossface.
But enough of me going off about Cesaro. Let's dive. Do you have any more news? I assume that was the last bit. Okay.
And unlike last night.
All right, so let's talk about today's Impact Wrestling. So Moose starts off the show. He comes out and he says, "Month after month, I prove why I'm the greatest world champion in professional wrestling. I had no surrender. I did it again. I stepped into this ring face to face with a Titan, and I put him down 1, 2, 3. But you people talk about Eddie Edwards. There's only one man in pro wrestling that needs to be acknowledged. And that's me, the wrestling god." I love when Moose makes these references because it perfectly fits Impact right now being the lobby of the Forbidden Door.
You're not wrong.
And I think he's the perfect person. Him and Josh will probably be the perfect people to play that role.
Who?
We can't say who yet because they still talk about him a lot.
Who?
They mentioned his name so much today.
I know, because if we say he's like Bloody Mary, except like you've got to say his name a ton of times.
Candyman.
We've said his name like at least 5 times tonight alone.
Yeah. Because without me, there wouldn't be Eddie Edwards. I have this ability that when you step into this ring with me, I change your life forever. I'll prove it to you. What happened to Josh Alexander, that's once, after I beat him for the world title Bound for Glory, he is no longer at Impact Wrestling. What happened to your hero, Mid Cardona? He turned his back on you guys. He stooped so low, he hit Jordan Grace with a steel chair. And W. Morrissey, the Lord knows what downward spiral hell he'll go down. Heath then comes out, and he says, "Do you think this is a joke? This ain't no joke. Eddie was a huge piece of that Impact puzzle. I can't do it with Cameron Grimes anymore, so I gotta do it with Heath. I got kids. We're at war. I busted my ass to get here at Impact. Once I got to Impact, I may have gotten hurt and been out for a whole year, but Impact Wrestling stuck by me." Yes, Mary, returning my accents. There's been less people to imitate than on NXT. I can't imitate LA Knight anymore. That sucks.
Why not?
So we don't cover NXT.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were just saying that you can do Cameron because like they've kind of like washed out Cameron.
Yeah, both of those. Impact Wrestling stuck by me. These people stuck by me. And if I have to stand tall and help Impact, I will. I'm looking at our champion, and he's doing nothing. Moose says, I have a question for you. Where were you the last month when Honor No More was wreaking chaos? Where were you when Eddie did what he did? Heath says, have you heard of the COVID protocols?
Oh.
Which is a bold thing to say after, allegedly, he said that he was anti-mask.
It wasn't allegedly. It was on his Instagram story.
Right. I just like to fit that allegedly in there just to cover our bases.
Fair enough.
Could have been hacked. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Sure.
I took my COVID test and I'm negative. It looks like Morrissey is done with your feud. My first match ever in Impact was against you. That alone is good motivation and good explanation for the story. What?
I just... Moose was like, where were you when Honor No More was attacking us? And it's like, well, where was Moose? Moose wasn't doing shit about it.
Morrissey.
Yeah, but Moose wasn't doing shit about Honor No More. Why is he fucking talking about it?
But no, remember he said, well, no, because Heath said our champion wasn't doing shit. And then Moose turns it around on Heath. And then later when he's talking to Scott, Moose says, I don't give a shit about Honor No More.
And why did he use it as a talking point?
Because
like,
he just wanted to turn it around on Heath because Heath wasn't there either.
Nah, whatever. Moose is a hypocrite.
Well, yeah, that's the point. He's a heel. Fuck, where was I? Heath said, my first match ever in Impact was against you. Now the Impact World title, and I want to face you, so these people will have a champion that will stand up and fight for their company. Moose says, is that what you want? I know you weren't listening. I don't think you want to go down that spiral. I don't give a damn about Ring of Honor, Honor No More, Impact Wrestling, Rich Swann, Willie Mack, Steve Macklin, Chris Sabin, you, Rhino, your family, or your ugly ass kids. And then, it's just, Moose really loves to just heal it up, and I love it. Just calling his kids ugly.
That was a bit much, but I was like, all right, sure.
So Heath then attacks Moose, and then that ends that. Heath goes backstage, and he meets up with Team Impact. Scott D'Amore walks in. He says, okay, I see what's going on, and it is not happening. We're going to stand by our word. Honor No More has every right to be here. Any problem you have, take care of it in the 6-man tag match. Eddie is coming here tonight and explaining why he did it. Nobody's putting their hands on Eddie tonight. You want him? No problem. But tonight he's off limits. You can have him at Sacrifice. And then Rhino says, at Sacrifice, I'll rip him in half violently. It should be Macklin. Let Macklin do it. Let Macklin do it and get the win over Eddie. Give Impact a win. A singles win won't mean shit. But it'll be good for Macklin. So then Scott goes to meet up with Honor No More. He says, it's your first night on the job and you're not on time. A deal's a deal and you've got safe passage. But something's missing. I think you're one man light. Where's Eddie? Matt Taven says, we trust you, but a lot of guys back there aren't following your same trend. So Eddie's going to come and say his piece. Moose walks in. Says, I don't have an issue with you or any of you guys, but don't get in my way and don't come after this title or there'll be problems. Taven just says, we're happy to see you. And Mike Bennett looks at him and he goes, what'd he say? Good to see you again? Something like that?
Said, I remember you.
Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, because they fought at Terminus. And it was a very fast match which ended in DQ because Moose didn't understand pure rules.
Moose was like, I'm going to keep throwing this man over the top rope and nobody's going to stop me.
Was that the problem?
And then the ref was like, actually.
Was it the throwing him over the top rope that was the problem? Or was it the closed fist punching? I think it was something.
No, it was throwing him over the top rope because I remember Mike Bennett finished the match outside of the ring.
Okay. So then Scott, when he's alone with Moose, asks him, or says, "You don't have a problem with them as long as they don't get in your way? What happened to you? Maybe Eddie was right about you. Maybe you're a joke. Well, it's gonna be you and Heath at Sacrifice. Good luck, champ." Scott is probably the most complex managerial figure in all of pro wrestling. Like he is such a great character and a great performer too. Him and Don Callis are both amazing. William Regal too, but he's not active anymore.
Miss him.
Yeah, I miss him too.
Well, he's got to be planning to do something because he has merch now.
Bryan Danielson name dropped him last night.
I know.
So maybe I don't know. I hope he shows up literally anywhere. I will buy a whole ass streaming service just to watch some indie shit that he's in.
William Regal starts a Patreon. He's like, this is the only way you're ever going to fucking see me on a camera ever again. Subscribing at the highest tier. Thank you, William.
Starts an OnlyFans, starts showing ass pics. I'd buy that.
Oh, God.
So then we get Jordan Grace versus Matt Cardona for the digital media title in a .combat match. This is the first time I've ever heard of this.
There's a decent enough chance this might be the first time this is ever a match.
It was pretty cool though. Wasn't that bad.
See?
It was you gotta admit, it was less goofy than it could have been. Because at least the stuff they used looked like it hurt. It
could, in fact, have been goofier. You are correct.
Like the phone bit, I'm sure that hurt a lot.
The phone bit just had to hurt because, like, that's a lot of like blunt force going into your back.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jordan comes out first with a DVD player, I believe, with like a bunch of stickers on it, and I'm pretty sure it said something like subscribe to like Jordan Grace or something like that, or follow at so and so. Just kind of like what's it called? Self-promoing. She then sends that DVD player into the head of Cardona once the match begins. We get some elbows to him, and then Jordan lifts Matt to ringside, and by that I mean like lifts him over the ropes, and he just goes flying. She then dives out onto him. Back in the ring, Cardona slaps Jordan with a keyboard and then knocks her in the face with, like, I think what ended up being a selfie stick. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. After choking her out with the cord of a mouse, which I realized as I typed up that line, that's a very antiquated statement. Like, I was thinking when I was like, a mouse with a fucking cord?
Yeah.
I don't know her.
Yeah.
I haven't known her in a very long time. Cardona tries to suplex Grace, but Grace ends up lifting him up, dropping him like ribs first onto like the top edge of a chair, which is fucking vile. Then gets a keyboard shot off onto his back. Jordan then takes that selfie stick from earlier, tears it up, kind of uses it like a kendo almost. Mm-hmm. She ends up Vader bombing onto Cardona. Then she gets her big old bag that usually is tacks. But instead it's a bunch of like old ass cell phones.
Nokias,
it looks like
Motorola's.
Yeah. Cell phones that will probably still work after what ends up happening, which is Matt ends up stopping her from achieving anything, wraps a cord around his fist, goes to punch her, but instead gets powerbombed into the cell phones. Mm-hmm. Eventually, the cover is broken because he still has that cord around his fist and he's got a mouse at the end of it. Slaps Jordan in the head with that. Eventually, Jordan goes for the low blow on Cardona, but Matt is wearing his fun little bedazzled cup. And he goes to shove it in Jordan's face, but with the strength of God, Jordan repels it and low blows him again.
Because he took
uses
it out.
the cup against him. Because he's a dumbass. Uses the cup against him, uses it on his face. Doesn't result in a pin, though. Eventually, she runs into a chair that was set up in the corner earlier, and in doing that, she gets pinned because Cardona holds onto the ropes, which is perfectly legal. I didn't realize it was perfectly legal in this match.
I tried looking up this match on Cage Match, but it just has it as a no disqualification instead of .combat.
Right. I mean, like, obviously, like, this style of match has been done, but, like, not this match per se.
Yeah. So after that, we get the Influence backstage. Tennielle's back, and she says, I come back, and first thing that happens is I lose my match because of you, Caleb. The Inspiration come in, and they say, welcome back. We're very excited that we get to defend our titles against you at Sacrifice. And they bicker back and forth about Caleb. Cassie slaps Madison. And then they exit. And it's also revealed that Cassie's fighting Madison next week. Singles match. So then we get Jake Something in an interview. He says, I'm disappointed. Nobody wants to lose a match because Trey Miguel teamed with Jake Something in BTI against Ace Austin and Mike Bailey. Trey Miguel then walks in and he says, for two guys that never teamed, I think we had a good showing. We're not fighting for gold, so don't be hard on yourself. I'm siding with Jake Something. This is pretty patronizing. He says, I'm disappointed, but that doesn't change a thing. I will be X Division champion. I don't need your pity. Trey says, you got something to say? Then say it with your chest. Jake says, I don't need your pity. I just need you to fear me. I hope Jake Something wins.
Also, Jake does make a good point where he was like, I'm twice your size. And I was like, yes, you are.
Yeah.
You are a very big boy.
I don't know why you're in this division, but sure. So then we get John Skyler versus Bhupinder Gujjar.
It's actually Bhupinder Gujjar.
Gujjar. Okay.
Gujjar. Because I thought it was Gujjar as well, but then I realized that it kind of rhymes with his first name.
Okay.
I mean, I itch my elbow in the most distracting possible way. John Skyler confuses the shit out of me.
Why?
I don't know. He's just nasty as fuck, but I don't get what, like...
He's got, like, no gimmick.
Yeah, like, I don't know why he's nasty as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, is it because he thinks he's better than everyone? Does he, like, have some beef with, like, God?
It's like, as soon as he came into Impact, everyone was just booing the shit out of him. Like, oh, I just thought that he's a huge heel on the indies that everyone knows is a huge heel. But I don't know.
Even if he is, like, usually heels on the indies have, like, a little bit of a reason for being shitty.
Yeah.
Or at least it's less confusing. I don't know. Anyways, we get a flying back elbow to Skylar and a drop kick right on the buzzer. Gujjar and Skylar end up miscommunicating, though, in a really weird, like, it was very strange, and I don't know what that was about, but it was something I noticed, where Gujjar looked like he was going to, and maybe it's just because Skylar actually knew the camera angles better than Gujjar, but Gujjar went to throw Skylar, like, whip him into the ropes, and then on the rebound, suplex him. And he pushed him into the ropes on the far side from, like, the ramp by the hard cam. Like, he, like, clearly was aiming him that way, but Skylar ended up running through that and, like, pushing through basically to run into the opposite ropes. Or not the opposite ropes, but the ropes on the left side.
I had a feeling, because I noticed that too. I had a feeling that John Skylar knew, or maybe Bhupinder just, like, wasn't sure where the hard cam was, and John Skylar was helping guide him so that the hard cam could get the best shot on the next spot.
Right, because the next spot wouldn't have looked good or look nearly as good if he had gone to the hard cam ropes as opposed to the left side ropes. Because the next spot was a massive suplex that just fucking slammed Skylar. So, I mean, good going for him if that was what happened there. Gujar then goes up top, but Skylar avoids whatever the fuck Gujar was going to go do. He ends up sending Gujar into one of the buckles and then into the steel post kitty corner from that. Skylar ends up focusing on tearing up the arm of Bhupinder, but he gets free, hits Skylar with a sling blade and then a ripcord knee to the face. Eventually he gets a spine buster off onto Skylar. Gujar goes up top. Skylar follows him up there, and Bhupinder ends up sending him down to the mat before hitting him with just a fucking nasty little spear. Just not nice.
Oh yeah, that was fucking middle rope spear. It's like the opposite of
I know it wasn't a
Macklin's.
slingshot spear, but like it may as well have been called a slingshot spear because like he slingshotted himself.
Yeah, he got leverage on that.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So then W. Morrissey comes out and he punches John Skylar immediately. And then he's about to choke slam Brian Myers through his little commentary table. But John Skylar saves him. And Morrissey gives him the BQE through the table. And I have a feeling John Skylar might be teaming up with Brian Myers. Seems a bit likely.
It did feel like that was kind of where we were going, like a tag match or something.
Yeah.
God, Boop. No, it'll probably be a 2-on-1. Because Bhupinder wasn't really part of that.
Or Bhupinder could team up with Raj Singh. Maybe they make that friendship work again.
Well, no, what I was saying is that like if it was going to be a tag match with Brian Myers and John Skylar versus W. Morrissey.
Oh.
I was like, who would be his partner? But it might just be a 2-on-1 because the idea of Bhupinder and fucking W. Morrissey together. Fucking God.
I don't think Bhupinder wants anything to do with Morrissey.
My dude saw all that happening on the side and was like,
yeah.
Anyways, see you guys later. Poor W. Morrissey, though, with the fucking BQE. Second time. Last, at No Surrender, he went forward with Moose and got kicked in the fucking head. And today, John Skylar kicked him in the fucking head on the way up. And it's just a power bomb. It's not like it's like something that's like intricate.
Yeah, it's like a high power bomb, though.
True.
So then we get a promo from Macklin. He says, I could give a damn what Eddie has to say. He's laid out his narrative of me being the traitor when he turned his back on his people. Next week, he answers to me. Like, why is this happening next week? This should be the sacrifice match. It's much more motivated than Rhino and Eddie.
I was gonna make a bad joke. Never mind.
Okay. All right.
Well, he said narrative, and I was like, oh, maybe he should go control that narrative.
No, I have a feeling he wants nothing to do with them. Considering the next person who could join could probably be Jackson Riker. And we know that Macklin did not like Jackson Riker.
I am chomping at the bit waiting to find out who's the next fucking person to control their narrative.
Yeah. Watch, it's like...
Because I can't wait to see what fucking shit show at the fuck factory that's gonna be.
Watch, it's Cody.
Cody's like, nah, fuck WWE. EC3's my home now.
Fuck those snowflakes.
Well, then he can truly be Homelander.
Yeah, they could put him at the top of every card. every episode, every pay-per-view. Oh god, they probably got a TV deal. Did you know that?
Yeah, we talked about that on the news a couple days ago. Yeah.
But God, Macklin should be facing Eddie at Sacrifice. Like that has much more weight to it than Eddie versus Rhino, in my opinion. And I don't see them taking it to Rebellion and having Eddie versus Macklin at Rebellion. Because Eddie's probably going to be facing Moose at Rebellion. And Eddie's probably going to win.
Didn't you just say that you didn't think Eddie was going to be facing Moose at Rebellion,
No,
but like maybe somewhere else?
I said that's the worst case scenario. I said Macklin wouldn't be facing Moose at Rebellion, but it's further down the line. I said the worst case scenario for Rebellion would be Eddie versus Moose, which isn't looking like the worst case now, because I could see.
I don't see that happening, honestly.
You don't see him facing Moose and trying to have the Impact title for Honor No More.
No, I really don't. Because Honor No More doesn't really seem interested in that title right now. They just seem interested in being fucking annoying. And they're doing a great job.
I don't know. Moose did mention, he said to them, and if any of you go for this, the belt. What did he say exactly? He said, and don't come after this or there will be problems. He didn't say that to Eddie, though. And whenever somebody says, don't go for the title, they're gonna go for the title.
I don't see it. I don't want to see it, because I really don't want that to be the main event of Rebellion by any.
It's either Eddie or Jay White. It's one of those two. Gotta be. Or maybe Eddie versus Jay White. Because the whole thing with Eddie in his promo today was he's tired of these people coming from outside companies into Impact. And what's happening right now? People from New Japan coming in. The puzzle pieces fit together so well right now. It's gonna end up being Bullet Club versus Honor No More. OGK versus Good Brothers, probably. And then Jay versus Eddie. Chris Bay versus Vincent. Hikuleo versus PCO, wherever Hikuleo is. Those don't sound like amazing matches, but it's probably gonna be how it goes. So anyway, then we get Deonna Purrazzo's Champ Challenge. And the person answering is Lady Frost, and she wants the Reina de Reinas title.
I was excited about this.
Me too. It was a pretty good match too.
We started with some grappling. A lot of grappling, actually. And Lady Frost really spent a lot of this, like the first part of this match, just running circles around Deonna, and not like in like the way where she's like, can't keep up with me, but like in like the doing so much more than Deonna was doing and like getting absolutely nothing out of it. Eventually she gets an elbow to Deonna. Deonna stomps on the calves of Frost after a failed sort of surfboard submission. Then she kicks the hamstrings of Frost before falling with Frost's leg in her legs. Perazzo then slams the knee of Frost onto the apron after sliding to ringside. We get a kick to Perazzo and then a moonsault off the apron onto Perazzo. Doesn't really matter. Back in the ring, we get Frost down into a Boston Crab until Frost grabs the ropes. And then, unfortunately, an immaculate jackknife cover on Deonna ends up getting reversed pretty swiftly into the armbar and then right into the Venus de Milo for Deonna to retain.
God, Deonna's so damn good at the armbar. Like
the Venus de Milo looks like fucking vile. Makes me like
every time looks like it's gonna rip her opponent's arms out. Every time. Oh god, Deonna fucking needs gold around her waist forever. She's just, I can't see her without a title. I'm glad they gave her those 2 titles after she lost the Impact or the Knockouts title. Alright, so then after Deonna leaves, Giselle Shaw comes out. And she kind of glances at Deonna as they're walking out, teasing a future match. And And she just poses in the ring in front of Lady Frost. Just rubbing dirt in her wounds. And then,
I'm not.
Hmm?
I'm not a big fan.
I don't mind, like, I'm kind of liking Giselle Shaw so far, but, like, we haven't seen too much for me to really judge. But she does seem a lot different from a lot of the people on the roster, which is something I like to see. I also really like her walkout music.
Really? I don't like it at all.
Really?
I think it's just cheesy.
Oh, I kind of like it. I kind of like it because it's a little cheesy. So then we get Bullet Club. Jay White. So glad Jay White's still around. He says, Impact announced my friend Alex Shelley against me at Sacrifice. Some would say it's personal, but it's always strictly business. Tonga, I know you feel it's personal. You see, you say Tama and Tonga, you just be talking about Tama.
Yeah.
I know you feel it's personal. When I say it's business, I mean it. Sometimes in business, you have to shed the dead weight. So as the leader, I had to make an executive decision for the betterment of Bullet Club business, but I'll tell you who will be in it. This man, Chris Bay, and the greatest tag team, the Good Brothers. Love that he put over, because he talked a little bit more about Chris Bay. Love that he's putting Chris Bay over.
I was just gonna say that, like, the Good Brothers, yeah, they're just like there. Chris Bay is there because Jay wants Chris Bay there.
Yeah.
That's his boy.
Chris Bay is getting a huge rub from this whole experience, and I can't wait to see what it does for his career.
Mm-hmm.
When did Jay White start? When was his debut?
Oh God.
I'm curious because I want to know how much longer he's been in the game than Jay White, or than Chris Bay. 2013.
He's been in the game for a while. Yeah, I was gonna say,
years.
I think it was like early teens.
It's only 4 more years than Chris Bay.
But 4 is a pretty substantial amount of time, I guess, when like you've been doing so much so fast.
I mean, the amount Jay White's been able to do in that time. And now he's
stunning.
Now he's doing a lot more on Impact and AEW at once. He could be the Nega Kenny. Just be like another belt collector all over the place, but like evil. This Kenny wasn't really evil.
Oh, that you're saying like evil, and I was like,
no, not like evil at all. He's the Nega evil. Nega Kenny, Nega evil.
God, is he anything?
So Carl Anderson says Bullet Club just feels right with the Good Brothers. Doc Gallows said God, it was time. The real OGs are for life. Violent by Design walks in. Eric Young says, when I make it deal, it's permanent. You didn't tell us about what was happening with God. You owe us a shot at those titles. Carl says, just because we have a deal doesn't mean we need to tell you everything. Eric says, all of this could have been avoided. You owe us a shot. Jay says, the Good Brothers are under better management. Any agreement prior to this no longer exists. Eric says, at No Surrender you won that night. I have a feeling you run it back again, it'll be a different result. But the God runs in out of nowhere and fucking just brawls with Bullet Club.
I'm sorry. I was minding my fucking business when all of a sudden I hear Tama scream, Jay White! It was like, fuck. God damn. And not only that, not just the screaming, but you see him go in for the fucking neck. Like that was his point of contact, was the fucking neck. And I was like, Tama, we don't have to murder like this, baby boy. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. You know what we need? We need to see that getting kicked out of Bullet Club, like, really puts God in a ditch, and like they got nothing now. We need bum ass Tema and Tonga.
No.
We need bum ass Corbin, but with God.
No.
It would be so
Tema
good.
and Tonga deserve better than that.
It would be so good. Tonga just comes in with the tomato sauce stained shirt. Tongaloa is his car toad. Oh god.
I've seen so many freeze frames of Jay's fucking face. My dude looks like a scared fucking puppy dog. The moment Tama makes contact with his body, he's just like fucking horrified. And I want this man to eat shit in the worst way. Oh my god. It's so funny to me to see the fucking like concept.
Oh. You froze. Oh no. Not in the middle of her sentence. Okay. There we go.
In the middle of my sentence? What sentence?
You froze.
In the middle of what sentence?
Yeah, oh god.
Oh.
I think goes after his throat you were talking about. I don't remember, because I can still hear you through the wall, so I heard what you said. But I don't remember what.
Did you hear me say that I want to see him eat shit in the worst way?
I don't think that came up on the stream.
My god, I've been talking this whole fucking time. I said I want to see Jay eat shit in the worst possible way because, like, if anybody deserves to fucking suffer the consequences of their actions, it is Jay fucking White, and it will be so. It's gonna be the funniest shit, especially because like Jay's like this big talk like guy, and yeah, he's kind of like he's a good wrestler. His moves hit, but Tama and Tonga are not just like fun time boys. They're like, ugh. I am so excited. I'm so excited. This is gonna be. Like, fuck the Good Brothers. So mad that they're still involved. Hate the fucking new shirts, by the way. Don't know if you saw those.
I like
Ugly as hell.
Oh wait, no wait, the American. Okay, no, the American flag ones. Yeah,
the American flag ones.
They're okay. They're okay. I've seen worse wrestling shirts.
There have been worse wrestling shirts, sure, but like those are bad.
With the American flag on it, it was done pretty well. It wasn't a bad looking shirt.
Mark is here to solidify himself as the actual heel commentator.
I'm just saying, like, I thought it was pretty well done for what it was. I didn't like it. I do want a Bullet Club bomber jacket though. Those look pretty cool. Have you not seen the bomber? I could have sworn Carl was wearing a bomber jacket or somebody was wearing a bomber jacket. I know they have Bullet Club bomber jackets that look sweet.
I know that oh, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking
so anyway, going back to the episode, a whole brawl breaks out, and then we move on to Ziggy Dice versus Jonah. Should take about 2 seconds to explain this.
Yeah, Ziggy gets like a chop block off to Jonah, but Jonah ends up planting Dice in the ground with a body check, and then a suplex, and then a senton, and then a powerbomb, and Ziggy gets beaten without the fucking finisher.
Also just announced for Joey Janela's Spring Break 6, Part 1, Alex Colon versus John Wayne Murdoch, a rematch for the GCW Ultraviolent title. I did not like that match that we saw between them. I think it was at the first GCW show we saw.
Yeah. Was it the first?
I think so. The one for the new year. Not looking forward to that. But tomorrow's the GCW show with X-Pac. That'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's see, where am I? We then get Gail, Kim, and Jonah backstage. Gail, Kim says, "You cannot keep destroying your opponents." Jonah says, "Then stop serving me these appetizers." Gail says, "Okay, then at Sacrifice you'll be fighting PCO." Johnny Swinger then runs in and says, "If he even makes it to Sacrifice, I want one more shot at the walking condominium next week." He's got to have Hernandez like help him out, because there's no way Swinger is gonna.
Didn't he fuck over Hernandez?
No, he didn't fuck over Hernandez.
He did. He left Hernandez in the ring to get fucking like destroyed by W. Morrissey.
Yeah, but we didn't see,
and he just like fucked off. He was like,
we didn't see them break up or anything.
True.
So speaking of Gail, Kim, we still get her and Chelsea Green and Mickie James. So Mickie says, "After No Surrender, I realized we need a marquee match for the future. Chelsea has been behind my back this whole time. I think she deserves it." They're both down with the idea, but Tasha Steelz and Savannah Evans walk in, and Tasha says, "Chelsea? What did she do to get an opportunity? What about Miss Thang here ran into Chelsea, costing me the title? I can beat your ass any time, and you had to use your friend to beat me." Mickie says, "You have had to use your friend for every win." Gail then says, "Tasha versus Chelsea next week, and the winner will be the #1 contender for Sacrifice." Tasha says, "Another loss for the non-factor." Mickie says she'll keep her eyes on Savannah, but Chelsea says, "No, I'll do it myself." Mickie and Chelsea has to result in Chelsea turning on her.
If it doesn't, this was wasted time.
Yeah, 100%. Chelsea should take the title from her after a turn, if it's not Tasha.
It should be Tasha, but it's not going to be Tasha.
It should be Tasha, but Chelsea should be the next one. Especially if it's as a result of her turning on her. Maybe like during a match, she like low blows her. Oh no, that's legal. Maybe she pulls out a chair. Matt Cardona's her way through the match. So then we get OGK and Kenny King versus Rich Swann, Willie Mack, and Chris Saban. I'm begging Rich Swann and Willie Mack to get a tag team name.
I was gonna ask you because I kind of just assumed that they had one, but I guess
no. I mean, the jerseys they wear say Souljas on them, like Soul, SOUL.
Yeah.
You would think that would be their tag team name, but no.
Is it not?
They're never referred to like as that, which is so weird. We should just start referring to them like that.
Sure. I'm tired of these matches. I'm sorry. I'm so tired.
I am too.
And not even because like they aren't entertaining per se, because they are kind of entertaining. It's not wrestling.
Yeah, I am very tired of multi-man matches recently. I think what did it was watching so much New Japan. All those multi-man matches tired me out.
See, I like the New Japan multi-man matches. I feel such comfort watching them.
Personally, the only company that I really like watching multi-man matches in is AEW. That's the only promotion that really makes me interested.
They rarely do multi-man matches.
That's the thing, though. They rarely do them, so they feel special. You do them so often, it just feels tiring.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. So Saban gets tossed into Kenny while the other boys and that being Rich and Willie, take their turns attacking Kenny. Saban ends up kicking Bennett, gets lectured by PCO for it, which I thought was fucking hilarious. Like, PCO just comes by and he's like, hey, I was like, okay, PCO, you're not even part of this fucking match, dude. What? Bennett then hits Saban, who was distracted by PCO, with an elbow off the ropes. Back in the ring, Taven gets a twisting neck breaker. This gets King in. King hits the leg drop, begins choking Saban against the ropes. Eventually, we get a kick to the jaw of Taven from Rich Swann. This gets Willie Mack in, and they hit their little tag team maneuver on Taven to not get the pin. Then we get a standing moonsault onto Taven and a pop-up uppercut on Bennett. Willie Mack then drives Taven into the canvas while while King takes out literally everyone else from Impact off the apron. He then like stands on the apron to like tease Willie Mack, and Willie Mack just walks up to him and fucking slaps him off the fucking apron. I was like, oh my god. OGK ended up taking control though. They get a proton pack off onto Mac to win the match because
Oh, it's okay. So then Eddie Edwards comes out, and Eddie has a long promo. He says, first we start off with wrestlers arguing with Scott D'Amore, Team Impact, arguing with him as they're escorted out. And Eddie says, you're angry. I get it. I see it in your eyes. You're pissed off. You feel betrayed. You're right. But you're wrong to blame me. I have known Honor No More for a long, long time. I came up with most of them, but that is not why I joined them. We all spilled blood for Ring of Honor. I felt betrayed when Ring of Honor announced they'd be taking a hiatus. All that blood, sweat, and tears meant nothing. But that is not why I joined Honor No More. Honor No More, their issues is not about one time, one place, or one company. They have identified a corruption, the cancerous growth of dishonor within this industry, and they are here to expose it, and I stand with them. I'm here to expose that same dishonor within Impact Wrestling. 2 years ago, the world changed. Impact Wrestling was forced to change with it. Scott and Impact would allow wrestlers of other companies to compete in Impact. Week after week, we didn't know who would show up, and I enjoyed that. I believed in what they were doing. I had faith they were doing what was best for this company. I kept that same faith when they allowed Kenny Omega to challenge for a title. And then Rich Swann failed to do his job, and he let our world title fall into the hands of a man that did not work for this company. Impact Management failed to see what was right in front of their eyes, so it was up to us, the boys and girls in the back. We're going to fix what Impact Management broke, so I waited patiently for my shot. Sami Callihan failed to win back the title. Then Moose failed to do his job. All this time I waited and I picked up a win over Kenny in a 6-man tag. Then I knew I was next. I was ready. But then when the time came to choose who would restore honor to this company, they chose Josh Alexander. Wrong. It was Christian Cage.
Yeah. That was like weird that he completely ignored Christian.
Maybe because Christian's still like an outsider, I guess, even though he's been in Impact for a long time. Or TNA.
Maybe.
It was at that moment I realized Impact truly had Honor No More. All the faith I had in this company, they had zero faith in me. I had no faith but to listen to what Honor No More was preaching. I was honored by the heart of Impact Wrestling. I did not turn my back on this company. This company ripped the heart from the chest of this company with the decisions of this company. Every step of the way you were happy and cheering. So when you ask me why did you do this, I gave everything to this company and got nothing in return. Ask me 2 years ago if I'd be right here. Like I said, anything is possible. And then Alicia Edwards comes out. And she says, what are you doing? And Eddie's like, we talked about this. We're on the same page. And Alicia says, we did talk about this, but since you decided to make it public, so will I. I can't believe you're defending your actions instead of asking for forgiveness from Impact. To each and every one of these fans. Eddie says, how can you say that? You were there for me when I waited for my shot. Alicia said, I did see it, but you taught me to keep faith. Are you really going to stand here and believe Moose, Sammy, and Josh didn't deserve their opportunities? I know you wanted to be him, but Josh did the job. He brought the title back to Impact, and you need to stop bitching and celebrate with our real family. Eddie says, Lish, that's where you're wrong. This is my family now. Alicia asks, then what does that make me? Eddie says, I don't know, Alicia. That is up to you. I did not turn my back on anybody. I'm walking away from those that have turned their backs on me. Oh, you are flashing green. Oh boy. That was weird. And then Eddie walks out, and that's the end of that. What a killer promo. That was so damn good.
Yeah.
Oh, a week.
Don't know what this means for their marriage, but sick.
Yeah. But it's a week of amazing promos.
Yeah.
Even
something's in the water.
Even Moose and Heath had a great promo.
Yeah.
Were there any good promos on WWE? On NXT? Were there any good ones? Malcolm Bivens had a good one.
Yeah, him.
Alright, so that settles that. You wanna move on?
Sure.
So to remind everyone, after our bests of the night, we'll be doing our predictions for Terminus 2. I know Terminus 2 has already happened, but we'll be recapping the show on Sunday. So we haven't seen the show at all. We haven't heard anything. So we made our predictions, and they will apply when we watch the show on Sunday or Saturday night. So before we get to the best of the night, let me recap. We go over this week's top 10 wrestlers of professional wrestling. Another week, another update. So this is based on wins and losses, if you're unfamiliar. So starting at number 10, he is the TNT champion, Sammy Guevara. At number 9, from New Japan Pro Wrestling, he was the most recent challenger for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, Tetsuya Naito. At number 8, from Dragon Gate, Yuki Yoshioka. Number 7, from BJW, Daisuke Sekimoto. At number 6, the former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, Shingo Takagi. At number 5, also from Dragon Gate, Dragon Dia. At number 4, from New Japan Pro Wrestling, Great O-Khan. At number 3, the new IWGP United States Champion, Sonata. At number 2, the SmackDown Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair. And finally, at number 1, the Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch. New Japan's kind of taken over that list. Japan entirely has taken over that list. There's only 3 people on that list that are not from Japan. Their work rate really pays off. Alright, so before we get to the best of the night, if you have a question for our question segment, leave it in the chat now so it's there when we move on after our predictions. And if you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment and we'll get to it in the next one. And if you're listening on Spotify, join us at twitch.tv/The Pinfall Podcast. Bless you. To chat with us live.
Oh, shit!
You didn't mute yourself.
I thought I lost it, so I unmuted myself the moment I unmuted myself.
Alright. You want to talk about promo of the night?
Hell yeah.
Eddie Edwards.
Hell yeah.
Oh god, the bright screen is like killing my eyes.
Oh, see, I'm in a comfy little room with like
sure
warm ambient
sure
light.
Maybe if I make that a little warmer, it'll be better for my eyes. All right, so let's talk about wrestler of the night. Oh, let's see. I'll give you 3 choices. I'm not too confident with these choices. In fact, let me change one of these. All right, so 3 choices are Jordan Grace, Deonna Purrazzo, or Mike Bennett.
Jordan Grace.
Really?
She had the longer match. I would have chosen Deonna, but Deonna's match was kind of short.
Do you see when Mike Bennett was like thrown back into the ring, but he bounces off the ropes and comes back out? That was sick.
Was it elbow?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, let's talk about match of the night now. Oh, you picked Jordan Grace. Let me just highlight that. All right, match of the night. As always, we go from the worst match to the best match of the night, and then we'll talk about which one's the match of the night. So, first off, worst match of the night with a 3 out of 10, Ziggy Dice versus Jonah. It was a squash match. Nothing to it. Next up, 4 out of 10, John Skyler versus Bhupinder Gujjar. Another squash match, but that finish was really cool. Next up, with a 5 out of 10, Deonna Purrazzo versus Lady Frost. It was a decent enough match. It's pretty good. Would love to see Lady Frost get like an extensive challenge for a title. Next, 5 out of 10, Jordan Grace versus Matt Cardona. It was pretty solid.
Mid Cardona.
Yeah. It was much less goofy than I expected it to be, which was very nice to see. It wasn't too gimmicky. It wasn't like a fucking Orchestra of Destruction or Symphony of Destruction match. Where all that, it's just so goofy every little bit. But this was a good balance. All right, my pick for match of the night. OGK and Kenny King versus Willie Mack, Rich Swann, and Chris Saban, 6 out of 10. I thought it was a really fun match.
Yeah, I agree.
OGK is always a ton of fun to watch, and Chris Saban always loves putting his body through hell. So, what's not to love? All right, so to run it back, promo of the night: Eddie Edwards explains his actions. Wrestler of the night: Jordan Grace. Match of the night: OGK and Kenny King versus Willie Mack, Rich Swann, and Chris Saban. All right, now before we get to the questions, let's go over our predictions for Terminus 2. So, for those who don't know how our predictions work, we predict the outcome of every match, and for every incorrect prediction, we do a dab of hot sauce. And whoever has the most correct predictions will be dubbed the Pinfall Podcast Prediction Champion. I am now a 2-time, or not a 2-time, I've had 2 defenses.
Yep, he's only won it twice.
I've not only won it twice, I've won it more than that.
Only won it twice, guys.
No. I've defended
Just twice.
In this one reign, I have defended it twice. Rumble and No Surrender. No, Elimination Chamber. No Surrender. Yeah, No Surrender. I forgot which show we...
Imagine I unhinged my jaw and just like...
And the champion gives a punishment to the loser. So we should start doing letting the audience predict. I feel like that would be fun. Do like Twitter polls.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh. Yeah, we could do like Twitter polls and see what everyone predicts.
Yeah, we could.
All right. So for Terminus 2, a lot of you might already know the results. But
don't tell us.
Yeah, don't tell us. No spoilies. So, first match of the night, Queen Aminata versus Killa Kate. Who do you have?
First of all, if my camera goes green, I'm typing the predictions, so I won't be able to see.
Okay. Oh, you haven't made them yet.
I haven't typed them out, no.
Okay.
I am going with Queen Aminata.
Me too. We're both Queen Aminata. All right. Ready for me to move on? Next is Dante Caballero and Joe Keys versus Daniel Garcia and Kevin Blackwood.
Wait, say that again?
Dante Caballero and Joe Keys versus Daniel Garcia and Kevin Blackwood.
Oh, Daniel Garcia. That was my prediction.
Okay. Yeah, I picked Daniel Garcia and Kevin Blackwood as well. Tag team match. All right, next up is Jay Lethal versus Baron Black. I'm very torn on this.
This one was hard. Sorry, I'm trying to type. I want to say Baron Black.
I want to too, but there's no good reason to not give it to Jay Lethal.
Unless like they're gonna make like a thing of like Baron Black constantly his own promotion.
Yeah.
Which would be.
I mean, it's a Taka Michinoku thing. But like he went so far with Bandito, but he is 0-50 in AEW. There's no way. But also, Jay Lethal's not doing shit on AEW right now. I don't know. I'm picking Jay Lethal though.
Okay.
All right, next is a fatal 4-way match. Chris Saban versus Trey Lamar versus Leon Ruff versus Kenny Alfonso.
I thought Leon Ruff. Or Leon Ruff, not Leo Rush.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I feel like this is gonna sound weird.
Mm.
I'm going with Leon Ruff.
I am too.
Oh, okay. I feel less weird.
I think Chris Saban won't get pinned for definitely. He definitely won't get pinned, but I don't think he's the solid pick for the winner. All right, so next up is Invictus Cash versus Adam Priest.
I'm going with Invictus Cash.
Me too.
God damn it.
I told you. Well, I'm surprised we picked different for Jay Lethal and Baron Black. So next up, Serena Deeb versus Liza Hall.
This one breaks me a little bit. Honestly, so my choice doesn't feel confident. Mm-hmm. And my choice is Serena Deeb.
Mine is too.
The only reason I'm not confident is because I feel like Liza Hall, they were really excited to have. And now they actually have her. I think I would think that they would want to like actually showcase her, but Serena Deeb is kind of on her weird fucking
professor
tear.
Bit.
Can't stand
But
her.
You can be excited and showcase somebody without having them win.
That's true.
Just like Baron Black last time.
That's true.
All right, so next up is Davey Richards versus Shane Strickland. This one is tough. This is so tough.
I am going with Davey Richards.
Oh, are you? I was considering it because he's going against Alexander Hammerstone at Super Fight. So MLW might want to keep him strong. But it's Swerve. It's fuck. Like I have to go with Shane Strickland. I have to.
Okay.
All right, and finally, Jonathan Gresham versus Santana. Who do you have?
Is it for the title?
Yes, it's for the title.
Well, I think I know who I'm going.
If anybody thinks Gresham's losing that title before Supercard, I'm sorry, you're a bit of a fool. There's no way Gresham's losing that thing. I think he's gonna beat Bandito for it too. A man is holding on to that forever.
Yeah.
Until I don't even know who could possibly take it away from him. Like, I don't know anyone in Ring of Honor that could, maybe like fucking Danhausen himself. I don't know.
Imagine.
CM Punk.
After all this time.
Yeah. All right, so got our predictions. Our show will be happening on Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah. Thank you all so much for... Oh, no. What's the questions? Questions. We got questions. I completely skipped over that. Sorry, doing the predictions now makes me very... Like, it throws me off. So do you want to answer some questions?
I'll answer a question.
All right, let me see if there's any on YouTube first. Ooh, one of our videos, our last Impact. Oh no, our No Surrender podcast got 95 views.
Okay, calm down.
Not the most we've had though.
Yeah.
One NXT show where Indy proposes to Dexter got 162.
Yeah, but this is like quickly.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Whoops, sorry guys.
All right, so Miriam asks in chat, who is someone you'd like to see challenge Deanna and win either of her titles off her? I'll let you answer that first. I think we have the same answer.
Say it one more time.
Who is someone you'd like to see challenge Deanna and win either of her titles off her?
Oh, I'd like to see. I mean, with knowing that Ty is going to be one of the people, I want to see Athena do it.
Yeah, Ty is 100% going to win that Reina de Reinas title. Because she won the match to challenge for it from AAA. So she's next to challenge for that title officially. And yeah, I have a feeling Athena's going to win the Ring of Honor title.
Oh, really? Oh, I was just saying shit to say shit. I thought that was like a kind of unique perspective.
Her name is all over the place, actually. Now that I think about it, I have a feeling it won't be Maria Kanellis.
I don't know who's going to get the Ring of Honor title, honestly, and I don't think that we're going to know until their feet off the ground again.
Yeah. Would like to see Athena challenge.
Yeah.
But as far as win the Ring of Honor title,
maybe Willow Nightingale.
Yeah, but I don't know if she's on the level of beating Deanna Perazzo right now.
That's true.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think there's any woman in the Ring of Honor roster that could beat her.
Not yet, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe Camille from NWA. Or I don't know. Who's someone from AEW who could challenge her? Thunder Rosa? Thunder Rosa would be good.
Yeah, maybe. That's an option.
Yeah. Alley Catch.
Yeah, sure, fine. I like Alley Catch. Why not?
Dalton Castle.
Anything goes.
Yeah. All right. That's all the questions we got. Liz, would you like to close out the show?
If you join us tonight, thank you so much. And if you join us in the future, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Please join us on Sunday, where we'll talk about Terminus, which has already happened, but we're going to talk about it. We're also going to talk about my new hair, because I'll have new hair by then. Those are the things we'll talk about.
Yeah, that's all we're going to talk about. Thank you all so much for watching. Follow and subscribe. Our YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Spotify are all the Pinfall Podcast. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And once again, join us on Sunday for our Terminus 2 post-show. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll be eating some spice and having a good time. So you should join in too. Thank you all so much for watching once again. And we'll see you all on Sunday.